Today I will explain about continuation to the last class only. In last class, the final topic I explained was it is about half-life of radioactive element. Okay, so how much time it will take to become half of the nuclei. But now the case is about mean life. So to calculate mean life, first of all, we should know here what is the definition of mean life. Mean life in the sense if initial number of nuclei are taken n naught in a particular sample, one sample is taken, one radioactive material is taken, in that how many nuclei were taken? N naught, initial number of nuclei were n naught. In that particular case, to decrease to 37% of initial number of nuclei, to what percentage we have to come here? It has to decrease. It has to be decreased to 37%. From initial number n naught to 37% of n naught only. That number only should remain in the sample, and remaining 63% of nuclei will remaining 63% of nuclei will decay there. In that particular case, okay, from n naught to 37% of n naught. Then here what is the general formula here we are having between n and n naught? What I explained for that, n equal to n naught e power minus lambda t. N equal to n naught e power minus lambda t. In that particular case, n becomes how much? N naught to 37% of n naught only. No? That means it will be decreased to 37 by 100 into n naught, and which is equal to n naught e power minus lambda t. Of course, n naught and n naught will be cancelled, and 37 by 100, that is 0.37. 0.37 is nothing but 1 by e. E represents exponential function, so this value indicates 1 by e power 1 only. So that is equal to e power minus lambda t. Now we can write it as 1 by e equal to 1 by e power lambda t. Then both numerators are same, and both the denominators, the bases are same only. So what we can write? 1 equal to lambda t. And what is the time taken to do that? That is, time taken is 1 by lambda. This time is generally represented with the symbol tau only. So tau means that is nothing but mean life. Mean life equal to 1 by lambda. What is the meaning of mean life given here? Mean life in the sense the time has to be decreased to 37%. That means how much decay should be there? 63% of nuclei should be decayed, and finally it has to come to 37% only. In such case, the time is said to be mean lifetime, and that is equal to 1 by lambda. Now, how can you write the relation between mean life and what is the other one? Half-life. For half-life, for T half-life, what is the formula we have written? We have derived there. That is log 2 by lambda. And for mean life, here we have derived, that is for mean life we derived it as 1 by lambda. Then what is the relation between mean life and half-life? That is nothing but half-life is equal to log 2 into, in place of 1 by lambda we can write here mean life only, na? So log 2 into mean life. Okay, so in this way we can write the relation between half-life and mean life only. The question is, obtain an amount of cobalt necessary to provide a radioactive source of 8 millicurie strength. That means activity is given 8 millicurie. The half-life of cobalt 2760 is 5.3 years for the same cobalt it is given the information about half-life and the proton number, neutron number that was given. In that case, you have to finally calculate the amount of cobalt necessary to do that. First of all, what is the activity given here? 8 millicurie. That means 8 into 10 power minus 3 curie given. But general units we use becquerel or disintegrations per second is the general unit we use. So that you better to convert this 8 into 10 power minus 3 into disintegration per second only. So what is 1 curie? Yesterday I have given that also. 1 curie is nothing but 3.7 into 10 power 7 disintegrations per seconds. Disintegration per second. And you can calculate this value here. What will be the answer for 8 into 3.7? That is 29.6. 29.6 into 10 power minus 3 into 10 power 7. That is 10 power 4 only. So that nearly you can write 2.96 into. Sorry, 10 power minus 3 is that correct. 2.96 into 10 power 5 only. 2.96 into 10 power 5 disintegration per second. I think it is 10 power 10, I think. Then you will have 10 power 10 minus 3, 10 power 7, na? And here you will get 10 power 8. Okay, this is the given information about activity. And also you have to write here, the other information given is half-life. So T half-life is given 5.3 years. But generally we will convert it into seconds only. Okay, 5.3 into for 1 year. For 1 day, you know the number of seconds, 86,400 seconds. For 1 year, that amount into 365 you have to calculate. And also we have the number of seconds per 1 year is nearly equal to 3.154 into 10 power 7. By multiplying these two, you will get here 16.72 into 10 power 8. That many seconds, but sorry, 10 power 7 only. So this is equal to 1.672 into 10 power 8. 10 power 8 seconds. In terms of seconds only, we have written the half-life. So activity was given, half-life was given. So, but finally you have to calculate number of nuclei. If you know that, then you can easily calculate the mass. So the information only I have written here. Now, how to solve that by using this given information? So to calculate the number of nuclei, we know that R is equal to lambda into number of nuclei only. Na? What is the formula? General formula for activity? Lambda into number of nuclei. So if R is lambda into N, N can be written as R by lambda only. Na? So that to calculate N, first of all, we should know the lambda value. How can we calculate the lambda? Half-life only if you know, na? If you know the half-life, you have to calculate lambda. What is the relation between T half-life and lambda? T half-life is nothing but 0.693 by lambda. Then lambda equal to 0.693 by T half-life. Then you substitute the value here. That is 0.693 by what is T half-life we got here? That is 1.672 into 10 power 8. 1.672 into 10 power 8 only. And this will give the answer nearly equal to, so I will use the calculator here. Quickly I will give you the answer. So 4.14 into 10 power minus 19 seconds. That is the value of lambda. But you have to calculate N value only. N means R by lambda. What is R value we got here? R is 2.96 into 10 power 8. 2.96 into 10 power 8 It is very much easy to apply the formula, but calculation you have to do it carefully. By what is the lambda value? 4.14. Approximate values you can take into 10 power minus 90. So in that particular case, the ratio will give the answer. So minus 9 only it is. Then you will get the answer here. 7.15 I got. 7.15 into 10 power 16. So that is the value of R here. So that is the value of N here. N means number of nuclei presented in the sample. Okay. But the question is, they are asking here to calculate mass of, I will just write in the next page only. They are asking here to calculate the mass of cobalt atoms. The mass of cobalt atoms. Okay, how can we calculate the mass if N is taken? Number of nuclei, we know that 7.15 into 10 power 16 number of nuclei are there. To calculate the mass, what we can write here? How can we calculate that? So to calculate the mass here, we know the general formula, that is number of moles. Number of moles, we have the formula here, that is small m by capital M only. And what we can write for capital M here is equal to, and also this can be written as N by Na. N by Na also you can write. So based on that, you have to calculate, you have to write the formula here. You can write here the formula, that is whatever the number of nuclei we have at that particular time, that by Avogadro number, what does it indicate? Number of moles only, no? It just indicates number of moles only. So for each one, the molecular mass, the atomic mass is equal to 60. By substituting here, 7.15 into 10 power 16 is the N we got. And Avogadro number, we know that is 6.023 into 10 power 23 into mass number will be 60. By solving this, you will get the answer. Just I will calculate here. So finally I got the answer, that is 7.12 into 10 power minus 6. When the molecular mass is substituted, always the answer is in gram only, not in kg. That you have to see there. So finally the mass of cobalt atoms will be 7.12 into 10 power minus 6 gram only. Okay, you see the question. In the question, activity was given, half-life was given. So based on that, we calculated lambda value and number of nuclei. Whenever you know the number of nuclei, then how to calculate mass of the cobalt atoms totally? So that is number of moles, N by Na into, for each one it is 60. 60 is the atomic mass. Then you are getting the answer. Okay. The half-life of strontium is 28 years. What is the disintegration rate of 15 milligrams of this isotope? Okay, so see here. So half-life of strontium is given. That means T half-life is equal to 28 years taken. Okay, so you can just convert it into seconds as in the previous question only. How can you write 28 into for 1 year? For 1 year, how many seconds will be there? That is, in previous question also I mentioned that 3.154 into 10 power 7, 10 power 7 seconds. So then the answer will be 28 into 3.14154, no? We calculate here. Then it is 88.31. So I will write 8.831 into 10 power 8 seconds. Okay, this is the formula for half-life. But you have to calculate finally here disintegration rate only, na? What is disintegration rate? That is lambda into n. So lambda value we should know here. So that I will write here the lambda value also. What we can write for the lambda, if T half is known, that is nothing but log 2 by T half. That is 0.693 by what is T half? 8.831 into 10 power 8. Then we'll calculate here. 0.693 divided by 8.831. And into 10 power minus 8, 0.07 something we got. And finally, in terms of 7.8. Is 7.8 into 10 power minus 10 we are getting, of course, per second. For lambda it is per second. Okay, so this is lambda. So we got lambda, and to calculate the disintegration rate, we also know the value of n only. How to calculate n value here? Okay, to calculate n value here, mass is only given. Previously, we have written the formula to calculate the mass. To calculate the mass, I have written number of nuclei by Avogadro number, okay, into molecular mass only I have written. But here we have to calculate n only. No? How can you write the formula for n? Small m into Na by capital M. So you can substitute here. What is the mass given? 15 milligrams given. No? So that 15 milli in the sense 10 power minus 3 into what is Avogadro number? 6.023 into 10 power 23 by what is the molecular mass given for expansion here? 90 given in the question. So by solving this, 15 6 are 90 only, na? 90 and 90 will get cancelled here. Only you will have 6 on 6.023 will be there. But simply I will write here 6 only. Sorry, 6 into 15, 90, they will be cancelled. So only you will have 10 power minus 3 into 10 power 23. That is 10 power 20. 10 power 20. What is that? What is n? That many number of nuclei, number of atoms are presented there. But final answer is disintegration rate you have to calculate. No? Disintegration rate in the sense lambda into n. That is nothing but activity, of course. Lambda into n. So lambda value we have, n value we have. You can just multiply both of them, and finally you will get the answer 7.8 into minus 10 into 10 power 20 means 10 power 10. So answer is 7.8 into 10 power 10 disintegrations per second. But if answer is given in terms of Curie, in terms of Becquerel, no problem, the same thing. In terms of Curie, if they ask us, you can convert that 7.8 into 10 power 10 by, so what is that? 3.7 into 10 power 10, 10 power 10. That much Curie. So that is equal to, finally, it is 2.13 Curie. If the options are given in terms of disintegration per second or Becquerel, no problem. You can write simply 7.8 into 10 power 10. But if it is given in terms of Curie, then you should write it is equal to 2.13 Curie only. The half-life of radium is about 1600 years. Of 100 gram of radium existing now, 25 grams we'll stop then. Of 100 grams of radium existing now, 25 gram will remain unchanged. That means initially 100 gram of sample was taken, and finally 25 gram was only remained there. That means what is n by n naught? What is the general formula for n by n naught? 1 by 2 power n. So n is 25, that one's remain. And initial was taken 100. So this is 1 by 2 power n. That is 1 by 4. 1 by 4 can be taken as 1 by 2 square equal to 1 by 2 power n. That means small n is equal to 2. What is small n? What is small n? Number of half-lives. Okay. So after 2 half-lives, this will happen. What is 1 half-life given? 1600 years. That means the total time is 2 half-lives. That is 2 into 1600. That is 3200 years. Simple question it is. 3200 years is the answer. So next concept is about successive disintegration. So successive disintegration in the sense, for example, if I have a type of nuclei A is the name of the sample there. So if it is radioactive element, what will happen when it is radioactive element? Definitely it will disintegrate and it will convert into other type of elements only. For example, if it is by emitting alpha, beta or gamma, any type of radiation, if it is converting into some other nuclei B, of course this is radioactive. And if this one is also radioactive again, what will happen? This will also again disintegrate to get the more stability, no? So that it will convert into other stable element. Let me call it is C. Okay, in that particular case, if the disintegration rate here is lambda, disintegration constant in this case, in this first case, it is lambda 1. In the second case, if it is lambda 2, then what we can write for rate of disintegration, that is activity, rate of disintegration in the first case. In the first case, R1, what we write for that? R1 is nothing but it is directly proportional to initial number of nuclei. Let me consider initial number of nuclei is N1. So that is nothing but lambda N1. Of course, minus also will be there. We'll just write it again. This is minus lambda N1. And what is happening in the second case? Whenever it converts into another sample B, that element B also is going to convert into C. Then the rate of disintegration I will take here. In that case, the rate of disintegration can be taken as R2 equal to minus lambda N2. If here the number of nuclei is N2, for example, in one particular situation, we are taking N1 is here the initial number of nuclei, N2 is here the initial number of nuclei. Okay, if this is R1 and R2, then the question is, finally, if I want to see only from A to C, the process from A to C only if I want to see, then in that particular case, what is the net rate of disintegration? To calculate net rate of disintegration of B, net rate of formation of B. Of course, with this rate, B is forming, but the B element is not stable, no? So B's element is again converting into C. But to calculate the net rate of disintegration into B, if you want to take, then you can calculate the rate of disintegration in case of first one minus the rate of disintegration in case of second one. That remaining is only related to B, no? So what we write here, minus lambda 1 N1 minus lambda 2 N2 minus of lambda 2 N2. So that means the difference can be taken as, we can simply write minus lambda 1 N1 plus lambda 2 N2. So in that way, we can calculate if the formed element is not completely stable, if it is again unstable, if it is again converting into other element, to calculate the net rate of disintegration of B or C or A, anything, whatever it may be. So based on the question, you have to analyze like this. Okay, this concept is successive disintegration. For example, this is one important point, and another one. For example, one element A is taken, it is disintegrated into B, for example, but not by following only one reaction, not by following only alpha decay or only beta decay or only gamma decay. If it is following two processes simultaneously, let me consider alpha decay is there and also gamma decay is there for one particular sample A only. And simultaneously it is happening, both the disintegrations are happening. In that particular case, for alpha decay, if the disintegration constant is lambda 1, and for beta decay, if disintegration constant is lambda 2, then the total or resultant disintegration constant lambda can be taken as it is the constant through alpha decay plus constant through another process beta decay. Simultaneously, if the more number of disintegration processes are occurring between two samples, then we can just consider here the net disintegration lambda is equal to lambda 1 plus lambda 2. But if I want to write in terms of half-life, how can you write? What is lambda? That is nothing but lambda 2 by half-life. And this is equal to, again, log 2 by half-life in first case plus log 2 by half-life in second case. T1, T2, let me consider. Then log 2 will be cancelled everywhere. Then you will get 1 by T resultant is equal to 1 by T1 plus 1 by T2. In terms of half-life or mean life, if they ask us the question to calculate, you have to use this 1 by T equal to 1 by T1 plus 1 by T2. When will it happen? This is not successive disintegration. This is the disintegration happening with two different processes simultaneously. Maybe three processes also may be there. Then the formula will be lambda equal to lambda 1 plus lambda 2 plus lambda 3, like that you have to write. Okay. So these are the